The difference between Kanso of 10 years now ago and the Kanso of now is that farabalẹ̀, just chill. You don't kill
Word for the day.
yourself. Don't kill yourself, man.
This entire conversation is just to learn from the man council, the genius. Like, just just to see how does he get it done? How does he do all the things that he has done? I mean, first things first with XY. It was such a well crafted film, and I know it's part of your project and whatnot. But how do you create or nurture an idea? How do you take something that you say, okay, this is a good idea, and how do you turn it into something?
I would say that God has blessed me with ideas. I'm not even going to take it for granted. I'm not going to say that I have some, I do so. I maybe jump up and down every morning and drink coffee and the ideas come, or I have to go and sacrifice something to the gods and not none of that. I can just be doing something, washing plates, taking a shower, anything, and then or most importantly and most especially watching media, consuming media, Instagram or billboards or television, and the idea just pops into my head. Ooh, what if I? And so it's a lot of the times it's inspired by, but sometimes it's just brand new, and I'm just like, whoa, wow. So then comes the problem. How do I do it? Because a lot of like I said, idea is not the problem. Some actually think my problem is I have too many ideas. I actually have too many things I want to execute and I want to do, but I'm only one person. And if I anytime I ask someone to help. Person is either too slow, does not have the urgency that I have, that zeal. It's not their idea now. So I don't have that passion. So I end up doing it myself. And it always looks like, oh, superpower, can't super. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm so tired. But I digress. So the idea comes and the problem now is the technical side of stuff. How? How do I do it? If it's something that it's inspired by, that means someone has done something similar. So I just go to YouTube. YouTube is my best friend. Go to YouTube, how to. If I don't see it, then I find something similar to it. For instance, if I'm looking for how to animate a snake and nobody has ever done it before, I'll look for how to animate a spring. Maybe somebody has done a spring before, or a pipe. Maybe somebody has bent a pipe before. So if I'm lucky, somebody has bent a pipe before, and I'll use that knowledge of pipes to animate the snake that I'm looking for. So I go and then do the technical side of stuff. Some way, somehow, I will get it done. If somebody has not done it before, or if someone has done it before and I'm lucky and I can just take from the tutorial. Yeah. And so it's a lot of gathering, plenty technical stuff from here. How did they do this? How did they do that? And putting all the Maggi and fake soy sauce like strength, putting everything together into the pot, and then coming up with what you guys seeing. It's very very technical because behind the scenes is I'm trying to light, I'm trying to animate, I'm trying to model. Up until this year, last year, this year, my 3D modeling skills were just non-existent. When I came to school, I said, you know what, I'm going to start modeling characters. In fact, model any other thing but characters. But I said, this master's degree, I'm going to use it and learn modeling characters. And now, because I've been constantly modeling and modeling and modeling, it's getting better. And I can now say I can sculpt and model my own characters from scratch to finish. The only thing I can't do and I'm running away from is retopology, for instance. But yeah, it's just a lot of the ideas come. It's the problem is usually how to do it, and then Once I get how to do it, I just start. I think what excites me is once I've figured out how to execute it. Because a lot of times the thing is not online, and so I have to
Mm.
experiment. Like I just give you with the snake analogy, I have to
Yeah.
experiment. Sometimes the pipe tutorial does not work, and it really starts to look like a pipe and not like a snake. But then by the time you tweak 1 or 2 days, it starts looking like a snake, and you're like, yes, I'm happy. The easier part is now animating it and just
Mm.
doing the rest. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
That's a very interesting process because when you spoke about how you experiment, first of all, how you research, and how you sort of identify the problem first, and then you start from that problem and start working backwards. How do I solve this? Or let me rephrase that. How, when you identify what you want specifically and then just working backwards, how do I get there? That's a very interesting learning process. It's very interesting because typically people would want to acquire the whole knowledge. You know the way we were taught in university in Nigeria, for those of us that went to school
Mm-hmm.
in Nigeria, right? You want to get the whole textbook down your brain first before you will now start to figure out the nitty gritty. But you're coming from a very different angle, which I
Yeah,
find very interesting. And how has
yeah.
that
I always
worked?
Yeah, I just remember something. I always tell people that come to ask me, how I want to get good, I want you to mentor me, and etc. etc. And they're like, how where do they start? And I always say, the first thing you need to do is don't go and learn everything. Don't learn
Mm,
everything. Your brain will not take it, especially as you grow older. Everything
mm,
has been set. So now you're just adding information small, small. Because if you just download everything at your old age, you will run mad. You cannot learn it. You can't. It's not possible. The time for the formation has ended.
mm,
You are now just
mm,
adding small, small on top. And the ones that will stay because you are
mm,
constantly practicing.
mm.
If you just think that you do it once, it has ended, then maybe you're a genius. How many of us are geniuses? So you have to keep doing it and doing it and
Yeah.
doing it and doing it. So I always tell them, have the idea first. Just think
Mm,
about the thing that you even want to do first. And then how do you do? So if you say that, I want to create an animation of a popcorn seller running down the street chasing a downfall. Okay,
yeah.
there's no problem. You have your scene, you have your idea. What do you first do? Create your popcorn seller. Create it in detail. You see a man, you see a woman, see a child, what kind of popcorn are they carrying? Do that, finish. Create your downfall, create the downfall conductor, create
Uh-huh.
the driver. By the time you do all
Yeah.
those tiny, tiny elements, it's practicing. You are gaining skills. First, first thing you will do is okay, I want to create the child or the man or the woman, the popcorn seller.
Yeah.
How do I create a human being in XYZ software? Then you start. By the time you create that human being and frustrate yourself and you're tired, but you get it, the next human being you're going to create, which is the conductor, it will be easier, or at least slightly easier. But by the time you get to the third human being, which is the driver, you already know how to do human beings. It's
Mm,
done. And so by the time you are done with your entire scene and you want to now start animating, you say, how do I animate a car? You finish that one. How do I animate somebody running? By the time you learn it, by the time you are done with that entire scene, even if it takes you 3 months, it's done. You will do it well, and by the time you move on to your next project, it will take less because you have learned more.
that's an incredible thing you just pointed out. That incredible process. It's like you are achieving a goal, and at the same time you are learning. You are learning in a way that many people are not quite. Rather, yourself, you're not conscious that you are learning. You're just saying, "I just want to solve this problem." But
Exactly.
like you just pointed out, at the end of it, you know more about the skill set.
Yeah.
But can you teach someone that way? I mean, can you, after you have acquired your skills that way, can you teach someone? Are you able to be a teacher, or is that a different skill? Because you
So
teach.
it's a discipline thing, and maybe that's
Mm,
also why I only have a few mentees. I have a
mm,
handful of mentees, very tiny, one hand, and that's because discipline is not a thing that, and I'm going to call out Nigerians. It's not a thing that Nigerians know how to do. Discipline is not in our dictionary at all. That dedication to finish the work,
mm,
that dedication that let me unlearn what I'm used to and learn this
mm.
way. Because on paper, it doesn't make any sense. Why will I take 3 months to do this thing?
Yeah.
Won't I have other things to do? Why would I? Why would I? Why would I? You want to
Mm,
hastily do it. You want to it needs to be quick. That's why you see some anime, even my animation, yeah, I'm still not, it's not perfect yet. There's a level I want
yeah.
to get to. That Disney Pixar, this thing, when you see, when I see it,
Mm,
I will know that it's done. But right
that
now,
is it.
I'm just putting in all the work, and that's the thing that we are lacking. People don't want to put in that constant work. That's our that's our big problem. I only let me shout out to uh, a guy named Ayola Olagunju, aka Don Archer. I've worked with him prior to moving to the Netherlands on commercials. I moved to the Netherlands. He came to the Netherlands to also do his own masters. He just finished recently, and we still work
Oh
on
wow.
projects together. He's a 2D animator, but that guy's dedication wants to wound me. See, in this life, I will forever, God keep me alive, I will forever walk with that guy because he will walk.
Mm,
You see that walk? He will walk. He doesn't talk much, doesn't party, doesn't, he just does his thing. He will walk. You say you want it like this, he will give it to you. Three samples,
wow.
safe. And
What?
if I can find 10 more people that are like that, eh?
Mm,
Empire. If nobody can, nobody will talk to me again. The things I will do, because I don't believe. Also, they will get paid. I don't believe in free work. Even if you're shaking, you will get paid. You pay your light
yes.
bill at least. So it's not about. If I find 10 people, the empire is over. It's done. But that's our problem. Everybody wants quick something. Even if you are going to get quick something, yeah, it's not now. Get good and then get fast,
Mm,
which is what I've now I think I can say I've achieved. Yeah. People always say, are there 2 or 3 cancels doing your work? Because the speed at which you deliver is insane. But that's because of that constant. There's some jobs you will give me. One, two eyes closed, I will finish it. In two
mm,
seconds, it's done. Because, what's this? But there's some jobs you will give me, I will sweat, but I will do it. And if I can't do it, I will be the first person to tell you, sorry, please, I know somebody, please take this thing to do, which is another problem. A lot of people will take that work and sit on it or do
mm,
rubbish. So that discipline, honesty, dedication to actually get good. That's one thing. Once you get good, you will get fast. And then your ability to just somebody before it used to take you 2 months to do work, now it's taking you 2 weeks. And so what you could have achieved, the money you would have made in 2 months, now you can now make it in 2 weeks and keep. Do you know how many 2 weeks are in 2 months? Money, 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 money,
mm,
money, money, money. But to get to reduce those 2 months to 2 weeks, you need a couple of years. Just need
mm.
a couple of years, just small, small, and then you're done. But yeah,
That's incredible. That's incredible, man. I mean, whilst you were speaking, I kept thinking about what is this thing about the finishing culture, the lack thereof of it, that we find. And I don't even want to even just even isolate it to a Nigerian thing right now. I want to isolate it to more to a generation
oh yeah,
of,
yeah.
of young people coming up who don't finish stuff. They don't finish stuff. And when you look at the trajectory of the people that we all admire, we admire them because they had something that we saw. that they created that we admire them of, which means that if they'd never completed it, we would never have seen the things that we admire. It's
Exactly.
incredible. It is incredible, man. I mean, thanks for sharing that. So I was also thinking about the the there's a lot of processes that you go through, some extremely technical, some not as technical. But what I have found is that everybody's process comes with or changes with age, changes with understanding, changes with knowledge. Can you talk to me about the council that I knew when I first spoke to you, and then council now, process wise, very specifically, or let me rephrase that, mindset process wise. What has
That's
shifted in your mind?
Yeah, that's actually a very, very, very good question. And I say this because up until maybe 3 months ago, I didn't really think about it. And then one day I thought about it. So it's good, it's odd that you're asking about it now. The process has changed a lot. The council of, let me say, 2013, 10 years ago, I was a 2D animator. Primarily. Anything 3D would be nah. I was mainly a 2D animator and motion designer. You know, my character animation was whack. I mean, then it was the best thing. Everybody, oh, let's get cancel work. I mean, looking at it now, I'm like, Jesus, man, what the hell? But let me talk as cancel of then. My character animation was pretty good. People gave me work. And fast forward, I was working at ad agency starting from 2012 to 2017, and I was mixing. So when I come home, and this was pretty much almost every day, if not every day, I would finish my 9 to 5, come home around 6:30, um, eat, and then from 7:38 till about 11:30, 12, I will focus on OBK Studios. And I did that every day or almost every day for 5 years. So that's basically two jobs. The salary I was getting is what I would dump inside one account and not touch it. The money I'm getting from OBK Studios is what I was using to pay rent, do other live, exist basically. And it was more than
Yeah.
enough to have some spare change and keep into this thing. So, but it was a hectic process. It was hectic. Me and then I was hustling. I was hustling. We must make money from everywhere. But it was hectic because, and I was doing all of that because of the Nigerian factor. In
Yeah.
Nigeria, you have to, yeah, I was thinking, I can't work in an ad agency forever. Even if I'm going to move to another ad agency or get better pay, let me just keep doing this. I also was doing it so that if I had gotten another job, maybe that job would be enough for me to now stop. But after 5 years or even 4.5 years, I had grown accustomed to my baby, which was OBK Studios, and getting extra work. So I was like, even if a fantastic job comes, I will still take extra work. That extra pay
Yeah.
was always fantastic. But it was the entire process. I mean, you can hear it now. You wake up by
Uh-huh.
what? 5 o'clock,
Yeah.
5:36. Get to work before 8. Do all that work till 6, sometimes 7, and then so basically for 5 years, that was deadly,
It's
you know.
ridiculous.
But what happened was that I now saved enough money to say, you know what? I'm not even going to work for anybody again. I'm going to establish my own because I've created a whole network of people who, by the time I put my, then it was Facebook, by the time I put my, announced my departure and opening of, just like I did this
Yeah.
year, opening of OK Studios, people were like, hey, Okpel, finally. That week, GoKada reached out to me, and I was part of their branding and their animation. That was the same week GoKada was launching, and I helped them launch into the Nigerian market with animations. So I didn't even rest for 1 week before I started work for OBK Studios, and now I had just one job to do, and peace. There was peace and tranquility. Um, and then I collaborated with a bunch of people offline. So I learned the power, especially during the pandemic. I learned the power of collaboration. You don't have to physically see anyone to do work. Work can be done globally. The world is a very tiny place now. So I learned all those things. And then I moved here. And then I had to unlearn that you cannot kill yourself. You just should not kill you. There is a better way to do everything. First and foremost, let's just even talk about the fact that I have light. It has never blinked once. So process wise, I don't have to worry about let me quickly finish this job before 12, before NEPA brings or takes light, or the diesel is finishing. All of that out the window. I have to iron my clothes before they take. I can iron the ironing board is behind this camera. I can iron it 2 seconds before I leave the house, and it's done. There's no single generator noise destroying my eardrum. There is The internet is faster than our, so that global village I was talking about where the world is now even smaller because I can do this video with you now easily. I can work wherever. So all of that, I have to out the window. Then process of animation nko. Before it was me, one man army. I collaborate with people, but I will do the whole thing. I will make sure, okay, bring the one that is more, the small one you've done. I will still. Now, currently as we speaking, as we are speaking now, I'm doing two. I have two clients. I'm doing job for simultaneously, and one extra one that I have just given out completely. All I'm going to do is just they'll bring it back. I'll polish it up with the cancel touch, which is like what 1 day, 1 day's worth of work. Send it out. Done.
Yeah.
Speaking of 1 day's worth of work, you calculate your day rate. It's because that's what we tell clients how much you are paid per day or per hour. They will now use it to determine the kind of the amount of work you should, the amount of time you should spend on this job. You will tell them, it might be more, but that's the way you negotiate. But those day rates and those they don't move. Nobody is saying, will you do this thing for 1 million? Yet it's worth 10 million. No, you tell them that you pay me so and so amount per day. That is my rate. It is your rate. Nobody's going to come and kill you. They can either take it or leave it. They can say, this guy is good, but we can't afford this. So can he, instead of spending 10 days on it, spend eight? Client will save 2 days worth of money and tell you, spend 8 days on this. Whatever you do, spend. And 8 days is actually 8 hours per day. So it's not 8 days, 24 hours. It's 8 hours per day. The standard work time. 8 hours per day. So all that negotiating price that's giving you a day is not necessary. Basically, I learned to farabale. Learn to just chill. When it comes to animation, there are people who can do some of the things that you are breaking your head to do. Somebody can model, somebody can texture, another person can. By the time you bring everything together, everything will look nice, and you will still chop some nice money in your account. No problem. If one person needs to do, I learned the power of collaboration. Before I was one man army. I technically kind of still am, but I have a network of people that I can just call now, and they will do one. One person will do. The work will spread, and God willing, the bigger I get here, the more that
Yeah.
network will expand, and the more I can just say, hey, please, I want to create this series. I know this
Mm.
person I've worked with, this. Easy peasy. But
Mm.
essentially, the difference between Kanso of 10 years now ago and the Kanso of now is that farabalẹ̀, just chill. You don't kill
Word for the
yourself.
day.
Don't kill yourself, man. Hmm.
I love this. I love. I can see it in your face. Not just hearing it in your words. I
Ah,
can see it in your eyes. Like you.
just like it
uh,
will happen. It will happen.
mhm.
Sometimes it's scary, oh. Sometimes, when
Yeah.
trying to get work and everything, but it will happen. Don't worry about it. Every time I just think I have light. I
Mm.
have light. I have electricity. I have internet that is doing a great job. Clients will send
Mm.
something from abroad that is 10 gig.
Yeah.
I will download it, but before I go and put coffee on and come back, that's finished. It's done.
Wow.
If I want to upload 10 gig worth of heavy ProRes file to
Yeah.
collect it, it's okay.
Man, council, you've really you've touched a point there. I mean, and it's a point that every artist, creative, not just in Nigeria, but yeah, I think more specifically to Nigeria because we have a Nigerian situation, but then Africa in general can really relate to on a very personal level. And it's my hope that we will all experience what you are experiencing, and those who are coming along, right? They will realize that they can get there. They will get there to the point where they won't have to, you know, have this pressure that they are going through right now, and all of it is part of their journey, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure when you started, you were not thinking about it like this, but you've seen how your life has kind of woven a thread, a beautiful thread, I might say, right? With all the work you've done, the people you collaborated with, the things that you have created, beautiful things that you have created. By the way, talking about beautiful things, I want to talk about some of your work. Do you have a theme that kind of jumps at you every time? And I say this because I'm a big fan of your Cupid work, the council Cupid. I'm a big fan of your.
Super cartoons.
We look forward to it next year in this coming
But
February.
I don't even know I'm going to create this one next year because I'm so busy. But I must do it because there are people who will come with gun to my DM and shoot me, and I don't want. Please.
Oh my gosh! But you do such great, beautiful work, and I'm wondering, do you have a theme that constantly reoccurs in your personal project now? The things that you are personally passionate about. Do you think there's a reoccurring theme? Do you think it comes from somewhere? What do you think it is?
So no, there is no recurring thing, which and I know why. Why is because I get bored easily from doing
Mm,
the same type of thing.
mm,
Um, so that's why in my projects you never really see an overarching theme. You also, if you go to my page or my website, you see how diverse it is. 2D animation here, motion design here, because I get bored quite easily. The
mm,
longest running things that I've done, uh, and it would be Super Consolidated Cupid Killer, and
mhm.
you can even see that it evolved. It went from
Yes.
animation slash live action to just full live action, and now it's 3D all of a sudden. So it's just so the theme is Valentine and the Cupid Killer. Obviously, at some point it was even a documentary. It's satire, and I'm just playing around with it and just messing with it. Freak the Fuck Out, which is the horror thing. I ran it for 5, 6 years, but now it's on hold because I'm looking
Mm,
for funding to do a reboot because I want it to be bigger than just Instagram. At some point I
mm,
was going to YouTube it, put it on YouTube, and then just see how it
mm,
goes and maybe start raking in that YouTube money. If I'd done it earlier,
mhm,
say at its infancy, maybe that's what would have come about. But I would have gotten to a point where I would not be the one animating that because I would have gotten
mm.
bored. You know, Instead I'll be writing and just giving it to someone to just animate or. So that's the thing. I think that I constantly evolve and get better. And what happens is I then tire of my old stuff. So no overarching thing because I always like to experiment and try new stuff. Something will come out tomorrow. I'm like, ah, how did they do that? Ah, I remember when Spider Verse came out. I was like, no, I need to
Ooh.
animate like that. I still have not
Hmm.
done that, but I know how to. I know exactly how to do. I've done all the experiments. I've done everything. If you ask me now, animate like Spider Verse, I will do it for you right now. But I'm looking for a project to put it in instead of just okay, and I can animate as Spider Verse, and then what? You know,
Yeah.
what was there? Huh? They've done it before. You are doing it. Yeah, 10 billion people on YouTube have also done it. What's special? I want to put it in a project as well. Because there are not so many projects that have that feel. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem came out, did it. Some episodes of Love, Death, and Robots, I think. Of course, Spider Verse itself, and then like a bunch of other. They're not up to 10. So it's new. It's a new wave of 3D that is evolving, like mixing 2D and 3D and making it.
Yeah.
I know how to do it. I've done all the experiments. I'm ready, but I need to find the project, which is what the new FTFO is trying to listen. But you see, the new FTFO, and this is exclusive information. The new
Cool.
FTFO, what I'm trying to do with it is that every episode has a different style of animation.
Hmm. Interesting.
So again, this is just because I feel like there are people like me who also just want to see different stuff every time. You know, just that insatiable hunger for variety. You know, the people that can do the same and the same and the same, I admire them. Those are the same people who have YouTube. What do you call it? Profiles that have 16 million subscribers because they've been doing the same thing for 10 years. It's the same phone reviews or same movie review. It's the same. I admire them because that consistency has given them the bank that they are sitting on now. If I could get one thing, I would love to get that. The only thing I'm consistent at is learning. That is all. That is all. So yeah, there's no overarching theme. There's no theme. Maybe I would say maybe the theme is evolution or variety. But yeah, today
But you do
something might
amazing.
be satirical. Tomorrow it might be comedic. The day
Yeah.
after tomorrow it might be epic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. But you, like I was saying, you do amazing work. You do a really amazing work, and I wish I could go on with this conversation, but I am still on the other side of the world where I need to calculate the amount of data I'm going to need to download and upload this video. But I would love to have you again. I would love to have a conversation with you again.
No problem.
Um, and but what are you working on? What can we look forward to from Council? I mean, Council, when are we doing the feature film? Like, what's up?
Ooh, feature film is part of bucket list. Even if it's one, it must happen by the
Mm,
grace of God. It must happen.
mm,
But yeah, I'm so like I said, I'm trying to reboot FTFO. I'm also trying to work on a couple of things for kids because it has always been something I wanted to do. But I want to start with a book first.
mm,
I also have a series in the works for kids. It has its framework. I just need to find funding for that. Luckily, I'm in a country that enables such. So hopefully, I grab one funding that will help my life. Um, Apart from that, there's a bunch of other stuff as well. But yeah, the children's stuff and FTFO. Hopefully, that's primary for next year. Of course, I need to find time to do the super cancel this is killer. Hey God, but yeah, the idea is there, But the idea, I don't like it because it involves a lot of work, and I have barely 2 months. So I don't know how it's gonna happen, but yeah, let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So great talking with you. I mean, so great. This conversation, I've looked forward to it for a while. I mean, beyond this, I mean, why am I doing this? Like, I'm really just doing this because I am passionate about just connecting with creatives like you, people who I've admired from afar. And I'm not necessarily in the direct field you guys are in, but I know that the more we work and the more we engage, there will be opportunities. And why wait until that time for the work? I believe that relationships are equally as important as the work that we create. So I'm just excited to have spoken with Council after having what 7 years. I mean, even when we worked that time, we didn't actually talk on the phone. I recall it was chats,
Mm.
was
Yeah.
text message, I mean, WhatsApp,
Email.
whatnot. Yeah,
Email and
email,
text message.
exactly,
Yeah.
and text message. Yeah, so I mean, this is the very first time. So I'm really excited about this and grateful about it, and I look forward to be able to talk to you again. I guess maybe in person in Amsterdam
Yeah.
sometime. Awesome. Thank you so
No
much, Council.
problem.
So
Come through.
we
Come
are
through. I will
done.
buy
We
you
are,
all the beer.
hey, awesome, man, awesome.